You want to taste it, fucking molly fuck? These are weird.
Jump inside of him.
Is how I track down adversaries. Let me give you a brief bio, most not based on innovations on my thing, so I can go the extra mile. Attract maximum, rarely minimum action. Soon to be a club favorite, cause I'm the coming attraction. School of MC with efficient competition. Parasol, acapella, peep the weed. Competition they solicit is alive, but Memorex with flies. Scared to use intelligent, your methods are irrelevant. Home writing poems, the wrong niggas touch. The microphone blown up, I'm calling your bluff. Step into the whole song. The first time will be your last earth memories. The first time will be your last earth memories. The first time will be your last earth memories. The first time will be your last earth memories. My trusty mic will never get rusty. Write rhymes day and night. Moonshine, put your lyrics in the bind. In, out, the steel blade penetrate him. I weighed him up and down, size made him move later. Now, he bear gashes, wounds are exposed. To once writing music, now he's a deep composer. Foes are flammable in its entirety. Step back 100 feet or so, cause what I let loose is fiery. Fisticuff, slips are blistered. Non-dread rappers wanna sell cause it's hot, so they calypse it. Flames, they rips it. Yo, man, I can flow. So what? Every 1, 2, or 3 bars, all I hear is a cuss. You ain't impressing me, manifesting meaninglessness. This is the second verse, so I'ma seal it off like this. Here's an invitation to be facing me, to seek salvation, the proper education. Step into the whole song. The first time will be your last earth memories. The first time. stock, I leave your minds lost in the mist. I pick you off one at a time, line four, round four. Give me an encore. OCB like soaring like a condor. Effortless, one of the best of this. Man, the money I'm worth to most governments will leave a big deficit. Magnificent, on my own trip, natural, saturated by the blend of beats, but wild present. Control the solars with mind power. Hour after minute, every second troubleshooting. Never die cause I'm infinite when it's all over. And my physical shell just rot. Rhymes will be left behind the cold. Blow up the spot. My presentation, you're tasting. I'm basing in your facing. This is Camp Crystal Lake and I'm Jason. Step into the whole song. The first time will be your last earth memories. The first time will be your last earth memories. The first time will be your last earth memories. The first time will be
Kevinegan.
With some of the events that happened over the past year and the way that this area was portrayed, do you think that it was an accurate portrayal or no?
Well, I think they overemphasized some of the negative aspects, like in the print press. That's all you heard about was, you know, the violence and how racial everybody was. But I'm sure that element exists in Bensonhurst, but I just think it was blown out of proportion. You know, you didn't hear enough about, you know, working people in Bensonhurst.
Well, in your opinion, does it exist, racial tension in Bensonhurst?
Yeah, I guess it does. Racial tension, it's really an Italian area. It's, you know, a white area. It's not really a racially mixed area, so there's really no tension, but that's really the first incident I've seen, really, in Bensonhurst, what happened there.
Well, do you think that a black person would be as safe in this neighborhood as a white person, for example?
I think so, yeah. I think so. Just truthfully.
And how do you feel as an individual about perhaps living in a racially mixed neighborhood?
Well, I'm from the Bronx. I come from a racially mixed area. I moved out here because my wife lives out here, and I have no bones about it. I live in an area. It's, you know, it depends upon the people in it, you know, in the neighborhood.
How do you feel about programs like affirmative action?
Affirmative action. It depends. I think, you know, you should get a job on your merits. That's it, you know, that shouldn't be because you're black or you're white, or it should be on your merits, you know. That's it. That's the way I feel about it.
Okay. And how do you feel about Martin Luther King Day being celebrated as a federal holiday?
I think it's great. You know, he was an American. He was a great man. Did a lot for his people. It should be celebrated.
Great. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
My last name?
First and last name.
Okay, the first name is Lisa, and the last name is DiFiori, Difiori.
Okay. Lisa, in your opinion, is there racial tension in this area?
In this area, first of all, I lived here all my life, and then I moved away and I lived in California for almost 10 years, and I'm just back here very recently. I don't
Lisa,
really
if you could
see
just try
any,
to look
oh,
at
I'm
me
sorry.
when you're talking.
I don't see that much of a change as far as the people that have been here for a very long time. Can't really answer because, as I said, I'm not back here that long. And when I grew up here, there wasn't any problem in this neighborhood. Everybody just minded their own business. And now I don't think so. I have my other child is in public school, and the public schools are trying very hard to teach the children not to be prejudiced the way that it should be. So as far as the educational part of it, I think that they're trying to do their best to teach children to feel good about themselves no matter what background or what color they are.
Okay. Do you think that a black person would be as equally safe in this area as a white person?
Is equally safe? As far as I'm concerned, yes. I can't answer for everybody. As I said, this is my own personal opinion.
Okay. How do you feel about programs like affirmative action?
Was that a neighborhood group?
No. Okay. That's okay. We'll move on. How do you feel about the fact that Martin Luther King Day is celebrated as a federal holiday?
I think that's fine. I see no problem with that. Why not?
Okay. Do you sense any racial tension at all in this area?
And around here? As far, I don't know if I completely understand what you mean by tension. Like people looking for trouble? Is that what you mean?
Well, I mean, over the past year with the Yusuf Hawkins case.
Oh, with
this area
that.
got a lot of publicity.
Oh,
I'm
all
wondering
right.
if you think that is true, that there is
okay.
that sort of tension in this
I think it's just gotten to the point, personally, where the media is really blowing a lot of stuff out of proportion for obvious reasons. And I don't know because first of all, I have a hard time I don't believe everything I see on TV, and I don't believe everything I read. I use my own brain to kind of edit the truth. And as far as blowing it out of proportion, it was a story. It was unfortunate that it happened. But just because it happened here doesn't mean that this neighborhood has to get a bad name. If it could have happened in Prospect Heights or Borough Park or someplace else, and I think it would have had the same kind of outcome and the same media coverage.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Are you on or not?
Bus is coming?
No, it's not.
I thought you joked. Go for it.
Well, what is what
Tell me when you're rolling. Oh, okay. If I can just ask you to spell your name.
Oh,
And you want to
Jean.
Okay, Jane, you want to look at me when you're talking.
Oh,
That's your
look at
first
you?
name?
Okay, yes,
And your
Jean.
last name is?
Osenni.
Okay, Jane. If you could just tell me, do you think it's true that there's racial tensions in this area?
To some extent, yes.
What does that mean?
It means that it's not as badly as people think. People from out of the I've been in this neighborhood for many, many years, and I've lived right around the corner for X amount of years. Almost 20
Excuse me.
years.
Is this too much of a profile?
Yes.
Okay. You might want to just stand
Look
right
at her.
and look at me.
Okay.
And a little bit closer. Okay, yeah.
So there is some, yes, but not to the extent that it's made. And you read the papers, and I think it's exaggerated there. Pretty much.
What do you mean by there is some?
Well, I tell you what's happened. A lot of the foreigners that have come in have taken over, I should say. And some of the people like us who've been here for so many years resent some of the things that they want to do. We feel that it was our neighborhood for so many years, and they're kind of taking over,
What are some of the things that, well, let's just wait till this truck goes by before you start to answer, but what are some of the things that they want to do that you said people like you resent?
Well, for instance, when they want to have something like a feast that they have for X amount of days, they don't consult anybody. They just do it on their own. Now, it's an inconvenience for most of us, especially the ones that live on the block like I do down here, where this is, they have to interfere with us, but they don't consult you. They do whatever they want. I don't feel that's the way the neighborhood should be. I mean, everybody is in this neighborhood for the same, so everybody should really be consulted first, I feel.
Okay. Are you familiar with affirmative action programs?
Not as much as I should be, no.
What do you think about what you know about them?
Well, let's see now. What can I tell you? I can't think of anything right now. Well, give me some questions, and maybe I can.
Okay, well, we can move on to something else. How do you feel about the fact that Martin Luther King Day is celebrated as a federal holiday?
I don't feel that badly about it. I don't feel strong against the fact that it shouldn't be. Where some people do, I don't. So let it be.
Okay.
I mean, it's just after all, he was a person that at least tried to do good. So I can't see it as being so terrible.
Okay, and how do you feel about living in a racially mixed neighborhood or having your children go to a racially mixed school?
I don't mind it. I really don't. What I do mind is not the fact that it's mixed race, but I do mind some of the people that are that take over and are of an element that I don't like. That's all it means. It doesn't mean that whether the person is black, white, yellow, or that doesn't make a difference. It's just the person itself. If my child is...
Here comes the bus. Thank you.
I don't want to
Bye-bye.
miss it.
Okay, if I could just ask you to spell your name first and last,
Why?
so that we know who you are.
Oh.
Yeah.
I gotta spell it?
Yeah. Well, otherwise, you might say your name is Jean, and I might spell it differently than you actually do. We just like to do it for identification purposes.
On TV,
Don't
it's
worry,
gonna
we're
be.
really with the TV.
No. I mean, I don't know about that now. I never saw you on TV.
No, I'm in the back. I'm not a correspondent on camera.
Are you working?
This is for this week with David Brinkley, Sunday mornings. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Why do I gotta say my name? I don't know.
You don't want to say your name?
Yeah.
Well, it's helpful for us to be able to identify people, so if you would be willing to spell your name, we'd like it if you would do that for us.
No, I don't think so.
No? Okay. Well, let's just move on to some of the questions. How do you feel about some of the events that have been over the past year in this area? And do you think that there's racial tension in this area?
In this area, no. There's no racial tension now. It was sad what happened because I don't think, it was really the neighborhood. It just happened. That's what happened.
How do you feel about living in a racially mixed neighborhood?
I feel okay. I mean, there's blacks, whites, Puerto Ricans, whatever. We all get along. There's really never been any problem here. Never. You see, never were in the paper before except for that one incident.
So you don't really sense any racial tensions?
No. There's blacks still walking around. Nothing happens. Everybody gets along.
Are you familiar with affirmative action programs?
No.
You're not. Okay. How would you feel if your kids were attending a racially mixed school?
I'm sure eventually they will have to, but I see no problem. I'm sure they'll get along. Which kids, they go to racial schools now, right? So eventually my kids are probably going to have to go.
How do you feel about Martin Luther King Day being a federal holiday?
It's always a federal holiday. I never had a problem with that.
Okay, that's it. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm just going to ask you to spell your name for us.
Frank Trunzo. Trunzo.
Okay. Frank, do you think it's true or not that there are racial tensions in this area?
Not true.
Not true. Okay. How do you feel as an individual about living, working, or sending your kids to school in a racially mixed environment?
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Okay. Do you think that this area was accurately portrayed?
Yes.
Last year. What do you mean by that?
You mean by the incident that happened with the... Well, these things, they happens all over, not just in Bensonhurst.
Okay.
The Newz overdid that.
What do you mean by they overdid it?
It was when they killed President Kennedy, he didn't make the headlines for 10 days on a row. With this racial thing, it was on the headlines for over 2 weeks on a row. Headlines. What was that?
Are you at all familiar with affirmative action programs?
No.
Affirmative action, no, okay. How do you feel about the celebration of Martin Luther King Day?
How I feel about it? I don't know. I really don't know. It's a holiday. They made it a legal holiday, right?
Do you think that there's any tensions, any racial tensions between the youth in this area?
Nah. They're all normal kids. Kids fight. All kids fight. I fought when I was a kid. Now they make a big deal because two kids have a fist fight. They make a big deal.
Okay, so you don't think it happened to be related at all to race?
No.
Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Take care.
They told us 300 and some people got killed. They killed 5,000 people, black people. It's
I
something
buried them in mass graves.
You understand?
Mass graves.
No, and then
wait a minute,
that
Hitler was wrong.
And then they told you Hitler was wrong. They labeled Noriega as a drug dealer. And that made them act. Let me finish. And that made them actions for the. But this drug dealer was bed partners with George Bush when he was the head of the CIA. Okay? So now we go on in black America, they're labeling all the black youth as drug dealers. If a brother walks down the street with a beep on, he's a drug dealer. If he got a big gold chain on, he's a drug dealer.
Wait a minute. If he have a good car, he's a drug
police
dealer.
say they can't compete with the gangbangers. They say they outpower us. So they can let my people go. And when Moses told Pharaoh to let my people go, they came up with a scheme to kill the firstborn male. You kill their children, and that's what they doing to us, man.
All right, let me
They're
talk.
killing our children in the street in New
Are you
York.
talking about
Let her
Pharaoh?
talk.
Who else was Pharaoh oppressing?
What?
Who else was Pharaoh?
Our people.
I know I'm
Our people.
I think there were some Jews in Egypt
No.
Yeah, but then we're speaking
But
of Egypt and the days of ancient that prove that where Africa we're speaking of. So how can you tell me your people's in Africa
They were
in
my
such
people.
a time?
I'm not a Jew.
Huh?
I'm just saying that I don't think you should be standing here.
I have
blaming this on
nothing
Jewish people
against-
because that's
No, miss,
racism.
we're
And I
not. Let
think
me
it's
explain something
really
to you. Let me set the
sad
record
when
straight.
people who suffer from racism are racist.
Let me set the record clear.
We're not
First of
racist.
all, a black
We
man can't be
react to the
racist.
racists that's
And number
perpetrated against
one,
us.
the enemy here is
That's
not
what we
Jewish
react to
people.
the racists.
See, the enemy here is the government of the United States.
What happened to the
one
civil
who
rights law of
perpetrates
Joseph Hawkins
these
that
things?
was
Listen,
violated? Federal civil rights law. Where's the federal
I'm
government
beyond
in
civil
helping to
rights. It's
prosecute them
human
on
rights.
violating
That's
civil
why they
rights?
killed.
The
That's
federal
why they
government
killed
hasn't been heard
Malcolm.
from
That's why they
in
killed
how long?
King.
Don't
When
do
these
that.
people went abroad and they found out that the struggle was a universal struggle of human rights, they killed them dead. All right? And today, the genius, the black genius is in the jail. That's why this country is falling apart, because the people who built this country are in jail. Black people built America.
I
The
agree.
sweat off them. They worked my great-grandmother from can't see in the morning to can't see at night. And all I want is some restitution. All I want is to pay me like they're getting ready to pay the Chinese people that they put in concentration camps.
And I
All I
hope
want
you
to do, all I want is my fair share. I don't hate anybody. I'm the most peaceful, loving person I am. But if they bring down the wrong verdict,
If
they bring down the wrong
verdict.
verdict.
I hope you get your
But see,
restitution.
we can't do it. I have to speak to a man in language he understands. The American government understands force. If you speak French, I got to speak to you in French.
Okay, good.
The American government, we, the black community, must speak as one united voice
And I support
and
you.
violently.
And I support you.
We've been too peaceful. The Jews said never again. And Hitler only put 6 million of them in ovens. They killed 100 million of us on the passage over here. All right? Then after that 100 million that they killed, the ones they brought over here, another 70% of us died of disease and horrible
I just
food.
think that if you put things in these terms, you're asking for more hatred. You're perpetrating more hatred.
How can I be? See, you always look to blame the victim for what the victor has
I'm not
done.
blaming the victim. I'm with you.
How can you say I'm perpetrating hate? I'm just telling the
No,
truth.
because I walked by this building and there's a lot of people standing around and they're all upset about Yusuf Hawkins. And what are they talking about? Jurisprudence.
Listen, no.
And that makes me mad.
If you took a conscious vote of all the black people right here in this crowd, how many of us get justice in there?
Time out. Wait a minute.
How many people? Raise your hand if you think we get justice
Do
in
you
there.
think?
You see any
Do you
black
think
people?
black people
You
don't
know,
have
we
the
don't
right
get
to be
justice.
very upset or have any anger
course you
towards
have
the
the
Jewish
right to be
people in
upset,
Israel
and
who's
I'm
helping South Africa build an
course.
atomic bomb?
Of course you
Who's the
do.
biggest trading partner when all the world open sanction against South Africa?
Do you
Israel
think
never
that-
leveled
do you think
one
that
sanction
every-
against South
do you think
Africa.
that every-
And we shouldn't be angry with the Jews on South Africa.
Do you think that every Jew in Israel or America supports the Israeli government?
Yes, because they support. Once they support their own government, they support the suppression of black people. That's my interpretation of it.
Jews understand something that we as black people don't understand yet, but we waking up. See, Marcus Garvey told us that we got to remember home. And the Jews never forget home. They never forget home.
Ma'am, I'm not a Jew.
World, and you can do whatever you want
I'm
to
not
do.
a Jew, ma'am, and I'd like to tell you something.
Any white person in this country, you can take
You know, it's like
Try your
we
best.
don't create the climate of hate. If you want to ask me where my attitudes and where my anger comes from, just sew a label on me, made in America.
let me
Just sew a label, made in America. Because that's what this is. This is made in America.
Let me tell you
And that's what's
something.
wrong with the black youth. See, they angry.
can
They
I
so
say
angry.
something?
And see, what happens
Can I
is
say
the
something?
finger's been pointed at the wrong person.
Let her talk. Because since you've been talking, you haven't made a valid point.
I'll just tell
from the
you what
top.
my point is.
Then okay, come across.
If I walked by a group of white people who were putting down black people, I would stop and tell them to stop.
How does that help me, sister?
And I'm telling you, I'm walking by a group of black people putting down Jews, and I'm telling you, don't.
Well, see,
I have to go back to work.
We're not racist.
Have a wonderful
Shake your
day.
hands to enjoy yourself.
Take care of yourself.
Enjoy yourself. A lot of black
You have
people
a
wish
nice
they had to
day.
go back to work too.
Still out here waiting for the verdict. But a bunch of news people decided to come around now. I told them we're going to burn the flag today, and I brought a flag that deserved to be burned. I mean, a flag like this here, look at it. It's just a piece of material, first of all. It's not doing nothing for the African people. These are African people, or black people comments about this here flag. That this here flag here is something that really deserves to be burned. And especially the condition of it now, you can see that it certainly belongs to, I mean, what else can you do with a piece of rag like this here? But to protest the racism in America and pertaining to this here lynching that's going on, that even the jurors can't recognize there's a lynching, we're going to be down here burning flags once a week to protest of racism, and also pertaining to reparations, compensation for slaves. Lighters. That's what we want. Lighters, brother. We want them to compensate us for 400 years of slavery. So let them know that that's why I'm out here getting ready to burn this here flag. We're going to be down here burning flags once a week. Down here at Supreme Court. Burn it, and let it be recorded. There's a lot of news people around here. They trying to give a story to this store. Next door, where I came up to the news people, they done got busy. I guess they must be recording the other people because I was here all along, so they wasn't recording me. But it's flag burning day. That's right. And somebody give me a lighter for flag burning day. Yeah, so it's some cash. Verdict. So let's be recorded. We're out here waiting for the verdict pertaining to the Bensonhurst lynching, and we're out here fighting for reparations, compensation for slavery. Because they compensated the Chinese, they compensated the Japanese, they compensated the Jews, they compensated other ethnic groups. Now it is time for them to compensate the very ones that built this country. So that's why we out here burning this flag, because white folks gonna try to act like 400 years of slavery never took place. White folks gonna try to act like 400 years of free labor never took place. But let them know that all black people are mostly agree with what I'm saying when I speak about reparations, compensation for slavery.
That flag's not for us. That's how they care about the flag.
Reparations, compensation for slavery, in the name of God. Okay, y'all can please take a trip now because we got other activities that I don't think you news people won't even see. So take the housing, and they took away the businesses that the African people had already established. So let that be recorded. If that don't be recorded along with the rest of the reason why I'm burning this here flag, then I'm going to start taking out a lawsuit against all the news people around here.
It's gonna be Cobble Hill. These are our streets. Our blood from the restaurant. All right down. Don't go nowhere. You got it right. Very good. Power! Power! Get the roadblocks now! No justice, no peace! Murderers! That's okay. Let's take it away this time. We ain't gonna burn Bed-Stuy this time. We ain't gonna burn Brownsville this time. It's gonna be Bensonhurst. It's gonna be Cobble Hill. It's gonna be Gorham Hill. Murderers! It's gonna be Howard Beach. You said! You said! You said! Look at you said! Look at the police! You said! You said! You said! You said! You said! Only did they kill Newz? From the day our fathers set their souls on the ground of America. I'm saying to you, black people, you gotta stop. No. They've killed us ever since our forefathers set their souls on the ground. You gotta get I don't thank you, Lord. They know what we're doing. What they say? No, we know the celebrating our name. That's right. We know that. We know the police know where every crack spot is. And they don't do nothing. We know that the president and the senators and the judges allow the drugs to come over here. The brother already saved the city. I know the truth. And I'm always the truth and can't no man repudiate me. Not your sergeant, not your lieutenant, and you can take me to jail. Because I'm already in jail. I am MIA, missing in America. And black people are MIA. We're missing in America. We are all in jail you want, but you won't be able to fill them up. You won't be able to fill us up. 23 million people going to be upset.
And when you're telling everybody to keep their mouth shut, would they? And if we had did it to one of their people, they could tell everybody to keep their mouth shut. Or one of their own people did it to one of their own people, they could tell everybody to keep their mouth
No man can repudiate you. Use that. You gotta understand, you can either come out to the basement, as a revolutionary, you must know your neighborhood. I don't want to go eat. I got money. I got about $200. I want to go Who's the real racist in the world today? No justice! No justice! No justice! No justice! No racist! No justice! No justice! No racist! KKK and the PBA. Who's the real criminals in the world today? PBA! No, you're going that way. All right, come on. What's not there, Don't start it! Just stay back. Let's go. Right this way. Why y'all touching me, man? I ain't fucking doing nothing to nobody. Y'all ain't got to put your hands on me, man. I ain't fucking with nobody, man. What about them right there, my man? What about them right there? What about them right there? They got cameras and I got a camera, my man. I'm over here. I'm over here now. Get a friend. And bring a friend back. That's no other than friend. Let's go home with y'all. Get your brother. Let's get more. Get your sister. Let's go back. Okay, come on. Who's the real criminals in the world today? Look, the United States government, the puppets of this government, the police department of New York City. What's the difference? Why you pushing me, my man? Get the fuck off me, man. Get the fuck off me, man. I got it. Fuck is wrong with you? Take him. Take him. What you mean take him? Fuck is wrong with you, motherfucker, man? Keep your fucking hands off me. Yo, let me tell y'all something. Everybody go home and get a friend. And when you come prepared. Bring your baseball badge. Fight team! On the sidewalk. I think we
sidewalk to the other place.
Yeah, right. Yeah.